Congressman Jeffries. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, man. For those that don't know, I'm a deacon at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Brooklyn, New York. I've been seeing you around the way. You've been seeing me around the way for many years. I see you at Emmanuel all the time. So this is family time. Brooklyn in the building.
That's right.
I'm going to promise you this, that this is going to be the funnest part of your day, because we're here to talk about Black music and Black Music Month. And I know, you being from Brooklyn and a Brooklyn representative, that you got some good music taste. So can you talk to me first and foremost about why Black Music Month? Why does it matter? Why do we have it?
Well, I often say that every month is Black History Month.
Come on.
Because Black history and American history are one and the same.
That's right.
And so as a component of that, celebrating Black music is incredibly important, because Black music has been so instrumental in our journey as African Americans, but in the American journey as well.
That's right.
Our journey is so intertwined. So being able to pause and celebrate and acknowledge Black music this month is appropriate, important, and something that we should all embrace.
Can you tell me about, because now we're going to start delving into some of your personal music taste. So I got several questions that are going to lead us down that path. I'm going to set it up and you just tell me about your musical journey. We got to start at the beginning. Who's the first Black artist you remember hearing, and how did he or she impact you?
The first vinyl record I remember having is Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang.
Oh, that's a classic.
It's a classic. It's definitely the first record, Black music record. My parents had records, of course, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, go down the list, Jackson 5. And so, that was part of my introduction, into Black music, those classic artists, many Motown artists, of course. But in terms of coming of age in the era where I was beginning to grow and develop, 80s into the 90s, the first Black record I remember owning was definitely Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang.
Now, what did that mean to you? Because that was a new era of music. Hip hop was just coming into being, late 70s into 1980. So tell me about how that record made you feel and how did it shape you?
Well, after hearing it, the rhythm of it, the cadences, the storytelling, I thought that, I was headed for a career, as a rapper myself.
Come on, talk about it.
It didn't work out.
Do you remember any of the lyrics?
Of Sugar Hill Gang?
Yes.
I mean, the way it started, hip hop, a bit of hip hop, you don't stop.
The boogie to the,
bang, bang, boogie.
To up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogity beat. See, I just had to test.
There you go.
Great answer. Now, so your hip hop career didn't pan out, but worked out for you, okay? Now, though, hip hop and R&B combined is the biggest genre of music that is consumed right now. That's been documented at this point. What do you think it is, Congressman Jeffries, about Black culture and the African-American experience that makes our music the most consumed?
Yeah, it's very interesting because I had the opportunity a few days ago to be with VJ Ralph McDaniel and Video Music Box.
Ah, legend. Uncle Ralph.
Right, Uncle Ralph. And I was being asked some questions about the role that Video Music Box played in kind of our upbringing, because that was really the first time, for me at least, that you would actually hear the artist, see the artist, and see the culture.
Yes.
But the music really communicated a culture. And I think that, and a journey and a life experience, and the trials and tribulations and the adversity of it, and then conveyed it in a very poetic way, sometimes inspiring, sometimes troubling, sometimes introspective.
Yeah.
At all times rhythmic. And I think in many ways, Black music, certainly hip hop, R&B, for me, that's what it's always represented. And music generally, one of the reasons why I think it's so significant is because it's part of the soundtrack of our lives.
Yes.
and you hear songs and then you place where you were at that moment in your life's journey. And that certainly has been the case for me all along the way.
You just made me think of something. So when you made it to Congress, what was the song that you played or the song that played in your head that gets you into that congressman swag?
That's a great question. And, and they were really two. They're on the campaign trail when they would bring me out. It was the Jay-Z, Alicia Keys classic.
Oh, Empire State of Mind.
Empire State of Mind.
Yes.
In part because I just loved how he flowed at the beginning. Yeah, I'm out there Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to De Niro, but I'll be hood forever. So I had to kind of remix that. Yeah, I'm out there Brooklyn. Now I'm down in DC, right next to Obama, but I'll be.
Talk about it. Come on, Congressman.
But again, it's like music. You listen to it and then you apply it because in part, he's telling part of your story in a different way, but part of your story. And then, of course, the all-time classics. Some of the Biggie songs and
love me some Biggie.
Without question.
I'm going to ask you on that note, because we took it to Brooklyn right now. You're a Brooklyn boy, Brooklyn man. I've been in Brooklyn for most of my life. What does hip hop mean to Brooklyn, and what does Brooklyn mean to hip hop?
Yeah, well, shout out to the Boogie Down Bronx, right? I'm not trying to start any controversy.
None of that.
Right,
Respect
the bridge is over.
To the Bronx.
I don't want to get into any controversy.
Exactly.
Right. So the Bronx birthed hip hop. Clearly,
it did.
Bronx being part of New York City, but the swag of Brooklyn and the rough edges, and the journey, the resiliency of being in Brooklyn. A lot of that is captured. Like even that little reference to KRS-One, The Bridge is Over. When you heard that, it was amazing. I talked to people like Ruben Diaz Jr., who's the Bronx Borough president right now, grew up in and around the same era as me. And sometimes we'll reflect upon what that meant for him when he heard a song like that.
Right.
And then I said to him, there was a classic line in that, Manhattan keeps on making it, Brooklyn keeps on taking it.
Yeah.
Bronx keeps creating it, and Queens keeps on
we're going
making it. But I represent
MC
Queens
Shan.
now, so I don't want to throw them under the bus. But I think even the Bronx artists acknowledging kind of the swag, the identity of Brooklyn, because it's so closely connected to the culture. And obviously then artists across the board beyond Sean Carter and Christopher Wallace elevated the stature of the borough and its connectivity to hip hop. But there's a long journey and connection before that.
Agreed. So one last question about Brooklyn and hip hop. Who's on your Mount Rushmore? You're in government. So who's on your Mount Rushmore of Brooklyn artists or MCs? So give me your four. Who has to be on there?
Definitely Biggie and Jay-Z, of course. Those are probably the two consensus choices.
Agreed.
For most people, right?
Totally agree.
And then it gets a little rough.
It does. It gets tricky. It gets tricky.
Then it gets tricky. But I got to throw in Lil' Kim.
Ooh.
Got to throw in Lil' Kim.
Represent for the ladies.
Right? Black Girl Magic.
Yes.
Mom still lives in the district. And but the thing with Lil' Kim is she was so amazing and lyrical in a lot of her appearances with Biggie, right? Get Money being one of my favorite songs.
Oh my gosh, what a great record. Right? Fantastic record.
Amazing record. But there was always the shadow criticism. Well, Biggie's writing those lyrics. However, Biggie departs early in heaven.
Right.
And Lil' Kim still coming out with classics, including an amazing appearance on Mobb Deep's Quiet Storm.
Oh, now such a great verse.
Right? That's an amazing verse. She put herself into that Mobb Deep flow.
Yes.
And Biggie's in heaven. He ain't ghostwriting those lyrics.
That's right. She's creating her own moments.
She's creating her own moment, which I believe she had always done, collaboration. So I think, she's all time. And then let me shout out somebody from an early the era that immediately preceded those artists. Okay. Big Daddy Kane.
BDK, gotta do it. Love that answer from Lafayette Gardens, Classon in DeKalb Avenue, Lafayette Avenue in the building. So I got to ask you before we close out, what are you listening to now?
I'm still real anchored in my hip hop R&B. My sons, will drop some current things on me. Yeah. But I was, DMX passed, rest in peace.
Rest in power, DMX.
Rest in power, absolutely. And so it kind of brought me back to, he's not underappreciated because you saw all the love that he received, right. But he was an amazing artist. And so I started to listen to some old DMX classics, many of which I forgot about.
Yeah.
And the one that I keep going back to,
which one?
Is We Right Here.
Ooh.
Because I mean, that the verse, the hook, the power of it. And it's like, you know what? With all the adversity, all the issues that you keep throwing at us or at him in that case, but at us, we're not going anywhere.
We still right
here.
DMX, rest in power. Make sure if you haven't had a chance yet, listen to his posthumous album. The last album that came out is fantastic. Some of his best work. Swizz Beatz produced most of it. I absolutely love it. Any other songs you want to throw on there?
I gotta throw in sort of a Nas song. And I'd say, Illmatic was amazing.
Absolutely.
Stillmatic was resilient. Right, because and I love that dichotomy.
Yes.
But I'll go with an Illmatic. I'll go with an Illmatic classic. Represent.
Oh, that's perfect.
Congressman Jeffries tries to represent.
That's right, Representative Jeffries, Congressman. Thank you for the time. I really appreciate you taking this time with me to talk about the importance of Black Music Month and then the music and the Black artist, the Black genius that shaped you and the genius that you exhibit every day. And this music drives us, like you said, it's the soundtrack of our lives. And it helps to give us the energy that we need and hallmark those special times. Thank you so much. I know you got more work to do in the government on behalf of the people. Thank you for the time. I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna keep voting for you and I'm gonna see you at church when we open back up.
Xavier, I appreciate you, man, and appreciate EBC.
Yes, sir.
And look forward to seeing you back in the community and in church.
Definitely will, my brother. Peace.
Peace, man.